Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to The Man with an Empty Face, a Shiva story from Sadhguru. So, I saw this, I was like, okay, we want to take a little bit of a break from the Youth and Truth, even though I do want to continue with it, because I'm glad to finally see Americans on there. And fair enough, they had some, decent questions. But it's kind of expected though. I guess the people who would show up on those Youth and Truth would know Sadhguru or would be curious, and generally the curious ones would probably have no questions because they don't understand. And the ones that are following would probably have questions to ask. So anyways, I figured take a little bit of break from the Youth and Truth and to listen to a story. So let's go ahead, and this one caught my attention, The Man with an Empty Face. Let's go to get started.
This is a wonderful incident. It happened some 250 or 300 years ago. There was a devotee in southern regions of Karnataka, and his mother was aging. She wanted to go to Kashi and die in the lap of Vishwanath, or she wants to die in the lap of Shiva. She had never asked for anything in her life. This one thing she requested from her son, please take me to Kashi. I'm getting old. I want to go there and die. So the man took this old mother and started walking. So walking through the jungles from southern Karnataka to Kashi is a lot of distance. They were walking. Mother took ill, being an old lady, so he carried her on his shoulder. So he was sapped of energy, and the only way he could keep himself going was he went on Shiva, Shiva. He went. Please don't let me fail in this one endeavor. This is one thing that my mother asked. Let me fulfill this. I want to take her to Kashi. We're only coming there for you. Please give me the strength. Then, as he was walking, then he heard a bell. So he heard a bullock cart coming somewhere and noise of the bell. Then he saw out of the mist a bullock cart drawn by a single bull, which is strange. In Karnataka you will see single bull, but only for local use. Long distance is always two bulls. But a single bull in the forest, strange. But when you're so tired, you don't care about these nuances. Then it came, and the man requested the driver. He couldn't see his face, it was misty and he was cloaked. Please, my mother is not well. If we can ride on your cart, anyway it's empty. The man said, okay. So both of them got on, and the cart was going. In the forest track, after some time, the man noticed it was too smooth a ride. It was not a rough ride as it should be. Then he looked, the cart wheels were not turning, they were still, and the cart was moving. Then he looked at the bull was sitting, and still the cart was going. Then he looked at the driver. Only the cloak was there was no man. He looked at his mother. The mother said, you fool, we're already there. There is no need to go anywhere, this is the place, let me go. Then the mother left her body there. The bull, the cart and the driver vanished, and the man came back. People thought, oh, he dumped his mother somewhere and came off. He did not take her to Kashi, he's come back too soon. They said, where did you dump your mother? He said, no, we didn't have to go, Shiva came for us. I said, rubbish. He said, it doesn't matter what you think. He came for us and that's all. My life is lit. I know that within myself. If you don't know, it's up to you. Then they asked, okay, then show us something. Somehow, show it to us that you actually saw Shiva. He came for you. He said, I don't know, because I didn't see him.
How could you prove that anyway? Even if, say, Shiva did give him a gift, unless it's something that cannot possibly exist or be created, you know, they could say, oh no, you bought that, or, you know, someone gave that to you, you know? You can't exactly just, this is a token. It's like, Shiva gave me this pen. It's like, no, you can buy that at, you know, Walmart or the local store. Shiva didn't give you that pen. You know, so it has to be something unique, perhaps that, but like, how could you prove that?
I only saw a cloak, and there was no face, there was no nothing, it was empty. He was simply sitting like this, he said. He sat like this, and suddenly everybody saw only his clothes. He was not there. He became a great sage in South India. Then he walked here and there. Wherever he went, people recognized him as an empty face.
Devotion essentially means you have found a way to dissolve yourself. Whether you have chosen a deity, or a man, or a woman, or a child, or a specific objective in your life.
That's interesting. This is something, every time I've heard Bhakti Yoga, devotion, love, it's always through deities, but I've always interpreted as, well, again, it could be a misinterpretation of my part, but this is the way I like to think about it. Bhakti Yoga, devotion, love, is for not necessarily deities, but it can be, but more like even everyday task of your life. Commit yourself to washing the dishes. Devote yourself to it. So I think of Bhakti Yoga more for devotion than love. Devote yourself to doing the task. Finish it and complete it. Focus on nothing else. If there's nothing else, nothing else important, then devote yourself to it. You'll notice that it'll be done quicker. You'll be finished. It'll be done properly. You will achieve something, and you're done. And this is something I can say for an example, which was very, very strange when I was younger. We had to go wash my mom's car. And I remember washing one time, I was like, oh man, I don't want to wash the car. I was complaining, you know, I was just complaining in my head mostly. And it took forever. Next time to wash the car, it's like, okay. And this really happened, and it was really amazing. I ended up saying, okay, I'm not going to complain, I'm just going to do it, get it done, focus on it, and then let's see what happens. And then it was done so quickly. It was like, it was done. I was really amazed, like, how quick that got done. Like, it was pretty strange. So at that moment, I started, I want to say perfected it. Of course not. I devoted myself mostly, and sometimes, of course, I complained. I was still young then, so, but I did notice that. And I started trying to devote myself to my task. That way it's done. I don't have to worry about it. Now, today, I still complain, but I mostly do the devotion to my task. When I have to do it, I do it in completion, and when I'm done, I'm done. So that's the way I like to look at Bhakti Yoga. It's devotion as opposed to love.
But one thing is clear, nobody ever has achieved anything significant in their lives without being devoted to something. Whether it is art, sport, music, politics, spirituality, whatever it is, unless you're devoted to it, nothing significant happens. Because without a sense of devotion, you will not cross the barriers of who you are. The object of your devotion is irrelevant. Whatever the object of your devotion, it is the quality of your devotion which will transform you. Without devotion, there is no true transformation. Without devotion, a human being will not be fully empowered. Devotion is something that every human being needs to experience, and they must understand it is not a religious process. Devotion is a love affair where you don't have a choice.
Real quick with that one, is that fully empowered. Yeah, you can do something, you can achieve task, but it will not transform you. when you're devoted to something, it can transform you. I think that's how I like to look at what he said there. Yeah, we can rewind. Here we go. Without devotion, there's no true transformation. That means you can still do the task. You can accomplish the task. You can finish the task, but there's no transformation in you about doing the task. Kind of like the washing the car. You know, I hated it. I wasn't devoted to it. I was complaining. I was still doing it. I was complaining. I hated it. But then that one day I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. Not complain. Finish it. And it was so quick, so easy, and I was genuinely amazed.
Without devotion, there is no true transformation. Without devotion, a human being will not be fully empowered.
So I did devotion there. I devoted myself to do that task, and it was amazing. Now, mind you, again, wasn't full transformation for me because I still complain to this day. not washing cars, but when you're able to focus on a task and when everything's aligned right, it becomes so much easier. There's a lot less, you know, irritation and stuff. But yeah, I tend to devote myself to my work, and I say 90% about of my things that I do throughout the day is very simple. Just because everything's going right, because I align things to be right, it becomes a lot easier.
Devotion is something that every human being needs to experience, and they must understand it is not a religious process. Devotion is a love affair where you don't have a choice. Yes. A love affair means you don't have much of a choice, but at some point you can become free from it. Devotion is a love affair with which you have no choice and you never become free from it. You get absorbed into it, you become nothing in it. Because you become nothing, you also become everything.
Very interesting. So was that supposed to go back to the story? The story, I didn't quite understand. I mean, it's a nice story where the mother wanted to die in two different places, I believe. Either or. And then I guess the son devoted himself to the task, which seemed like it, it's begging, the person in the cart to have a ride there. He wanted to do that task for his mother, so he was devoted to his task at that point. And then whenever he came back, though, I guess he became enlightened through devotion because of what he experienced when he was bringing his mother. He witnessed the cart, the wheels not turning, the bull just sitting there, and then there's the empty cloak, and then seeing the sky, or seeing this right here. I need to go away. This is the place. Let me go.
Then the mother left her body there.
So I guess this is the place that she wanted to go. I don't know which one though. Or yeah, it is Shiva, actually. Shiva, that's right. But is there like a Shiva town? Like a town that Shiva born in or has chosen? The only reason why it's Shiva because he explains here
that within myself. If you don't know, it's up to you. Then they asked, okay, then show us something. Somehow, show it to us that you actually saw Shiva.
There, so you actually saw Shiva there. So I'm guessing that was supposed to be… oh yeah, nothing. Shiva also means nothing, according to Sadhguru. That which is not, is I think the phrase he uses. So technically the nothing in the cloak, even though you saw fog, but that's just to, represent nothing. I think. So interesting. So just a story about devotion, the man with an empty face, a Shiva story. I'm still not seeing the connection between the story necessarily and the devotion portion at the end. I get that the son was devoted to his task, And perhaps that's it. That's the link between the story and what Sadhguru said at the end there. Anyways, let me know. And that's my reaction to this. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.